After 10 long years of struggling with infertility, I'm finally sharing my journey of how I conceived and the emotions behind having our miracle baby. If you're someone struggling with infertility, you know how difficult and isolating it can be. But please know that there is always hope. This video is a personal story of overcoming the challenges, the tears, and the setbacks to finally experiencing the joy of becoming a mother. So my story starts from 2013. That's when I got married, and I've always had irregular periods. I was not really interested in finding out what are the consequences of having irregular periods. So let's start with my infertility diagnosis and the treatments that I went through. Back in 2017, my husband and I, we decided that we should go to the doctor to get ourselves checked if we are ready to have a baby whenever we wish to. My husband was fit and fine, he was all good, but it was me who had an issue. She diagnosed me with PCOD. And mind you, I was really thin back then. So there's no such thing that only if you're fat you can have PCOD, and if you're thin you won't have PCOD. It can happen to anyone, and it's a lifestyle disease. I've always had issues with my periods, but I never gave it so much of a thought because I was happy that my periods are coming aram se anytime, easy. Sometimes it comes after 45 days, sometimes after 2 months, and I used to chill, relax. I never even bothered to tell my own mother about it. Anyway, the reason behind me having delayed periods or prolonged periods was because I had PCOD and I had no idea about that. So after she told me I have PCOD, of course she gave me some medicines, and then I started exercising because I thought I have to exercise. Only then I will be able to treat myself, because that's what the whole internet Google uncle says so. And I also spoke to my doctor, of course. So she was like, you have to be more active and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, fine. I will start exercising, and I will keep myself fit and have good diet and everything. Again, this was in 2017. Okay, so 2017, 18, 19, 20. We gave ourselves 3 years. But the problem is, throughout this time, I had to take a lot of medications. And because of which, instead of losing weight, I was gaining weight. So my weight was constantly fluctuating. Sometimes I would put on weight, sometimes I would lose weight, and it was an ongoing thing. And it was actually very frustrating, because where I was putting in effort to lose weight, at the same time my body is putting in all its effort to gain weight. And I'm like, why is all of this happening? So after a point in time, I stopped taking all the medicines. I said, no, enough is enough. I am just living a normal life, and everything is fine with me, is what I told myself. So in 2020, we finally decided that, okay, we should be able to start a family now. We went back to the doctor, and this time the doctor said that I still had PCOD. And she also said that PCOD is not always a reason to stop you from conceiving. Women with PCOD still conceive. So don't tell yourself that because you have PCOD, you're not able to conceive. Let's just do some other tests. Now, she ran an ultrasound and everything, and x-ray and whatnot. And after that, she felt something was wrong. So she suggested we should do a hysteroscopy. Now, this process is very, very painful. You can Google it, what hysteroscopy is. It's basically like a long straw, very fine pipe kind of a thing. Through that pipe, they push some dye in the sense like ink kind of a thing. They push it inside your fallopian tubes to see if they're blocked. So what my doctor said is, many a times that's the reason why you're not able to conceive. So if we push the dye inside, it opens the fallopian tubes, and then you will be able to conceive. I read online about hysteroscopy and everything, and I was like, okay, it's going to be painful and everything, but if this is all what it takes, I would love to do it. And I went for it. And this process is also expensive. So I went for it, and I was shivering from head to toe. I have no words to describe what I felt like that time. She realized that the dye is only going on one side of the fallopian tube, it's not going on the other side. So she was like, oh, maybe I didn't do it properly, let me do it again. They did it again. This time, once again, it only went on one side, it did not go on the other side. So she was like, okay, Shruti, you can get up. I have figured out what has happened to you. And she told me that, Shruti, you have a septum inside your uterus. So when I say a septum, This is my uterus, and there's like a thin layer of skin in between. So she said, because you have this, you're not able to form a baby inside. That's why you're not able to conceive. PCOD is not the problem, it's this septum. So I was taking medicines all this while to treat myself for PCOD, but the problem is completely different. Anyway, so I asked her like how to fix this, like what is the solution for this. So she's like, you have to go through a surgery and remove that skin so that there is space inside me. So I was like, okay, fine, then let's just remove this thing. All this was happening in UAE. Okay, I was living in UAE during this time. Then we went to India because of course in UAE I cannot go through a surgery. It's super expensive. We couldn't afford to do that at all. She told me it would cost us around 40,000-50,000 dirhams, something like that. So I went to India and I got it done in, guess how much? I got the surgery done in 20,000 rupees. Anyway, so I got myself treated. I came back. The doctor gave me a medicine and she said that you have to continue to take this medicine and you will conceive in a couple of months. I was like, okay, fine. Chalo, ho gaya, problem solved. I came back in 2020, November. This is when it happened. Okay. I started taking medicines November, December, January, February. I'm still not conceiving. What is going on? I was really losing my mind. It was really heartbreaking, but I could not talk about this to anybody. My heart wanted a baby so bad, but at the same time, I felt like maybe it's not in my luck. Maybe it's not written for me. Maybe it's just, not everyone is supposed to have a family. So that's what I told myself, and I just moved on with life. During this time, we were also working on moving to Canada. By 2022, June, we had our PR, and I was like, good, I can go away from all of this. I needed a change in life. During this time, I had also started meditating. Not full-fledged, but I used to meditate every now and then. Then we moved to Canada in September 2022. We came here, started our life full-fledged, mind completely diverted towards starting our life over here. If you're thinking about what my husband was doing, he was there with me all throughout this time. He was the strongest pillar of my life during this time. And so we started our life over here. Everything was different. We had different challenges to manage. We had different things to deal with. So this whole thought of having a baby was pushed back. This country has something in it. It's just my perspective. It is so nice and calm over here. I used to wake up like at 4:30 in the morning and I started meditating. I am genuinely telling you, meditation is a luxury that you can give yourself. I was so much at peace. Every day for 40 minutes, I have meditated without fail. Every morning, 5:30 to 6:15, without fail. And it became a habit. It became like a routine for me. And I started feeling so much at peace. No matter how chaotic the world around me was, be it work, be it personal life, be it whatever, this one thing was only for me. I felt so much of gratitude for having everything that I had, the family, the friends, everybody around me. I was so blessed to have these amazing people. It was just me who was hurting myself with the thought that I'm not having a baby. Then in 2023, my husband and I decided that should we give this another shot, because here medical is all government sponsored. So I was like, even if there is a cost involved, it wouldn't be as expensive as it is in India or in the UAE. Now here's the fun part. I told the doctor that I had a septum, I went through the surgery and everything, and he was like, Shruti, listen to me. If you have a septum, that means you can have 2 babies made on 2 sides. There was no need for you to go through the surgery. I was completely lost. So all the medicines that I took throughout these years, the surgery, the treatment, what not I went through was all in vain. Is that what you're saying? Either way, he said, what were the medicines that you've been taking after the surgery? So I told him letrozole, if I'm not wrong. Please don't take the medicines that I've taken. Only take if your doctor prescribes it to you. So this medicine helps you in ovulating. So I started taking this medicine, and within 2 months, I conceived. I was in shock. I did not know what do I do. I wanted to scream. So I immediately called up my entire family and I was like, everyone is happy, everything. Everyone was so much in joy. But that pregnancy only lasted for 15 days and I lost my first baby. I started bleeding and it went, but it's okay. It again shattered me internally and it made me think that, am I never going to have a baby? Like, why is this even happening with me? Either way, I told myself, no problem. We will try again. I went back to the doctor and I told the doctor this happened. He was really sorry, but he was at the same time, he also said that, Shruti, see, there is still hope. This means that you can get pregnant. So don't keep telling yourself that no, you're not able to conceive. Wrong things are happening with you all the time. That's not true. Go back, start taking the medicines, do the same thing that you did throughout these days. I started taking the medicine. One night, I have a cat in the house. We have a litter box. And that night, I could smell my cat's litter and I was getting so irritated. When we're sleeping in the night, here from the window, you can hear a lot of vehicles, even in the night, like it's super loud. So he always wants the windows to be closed. But I was like, can you please just open the window? I cannot breathe right now. And he was like, why are you overreacting? There's nothing that's happening. He's like, I cannot smell anything. I just told him, like, can you please just open the window or else I'm going out and sleeping. I don't want to sleep here because the smell is going in my head. He was cranky about it, but he opened the window and I was like, you know what? I think I am pregnant again. The next day I ran to the medical store and I got the pregnancy test and I was pregnant again. This time I had decided I'm not sharing this news with anyone because first of all, I learned a lesson from my previous pregnancy. It was too early to even share the news with anybody at all. And plus, with my kind of situation, everything was always dicey. After 15 days of this pregnancy, I again started bleeding. Now, when this started happening, I thought I'm losing this baby again. And in that situation, I started panicking and I had no idea what to do. I ran again to the doctor. The doctor said, Shruti, go right now and get yourself tested. Get your pregnancy test done, even though you're bleeding. Pregnancy test was positive, everything was okay, but still I was bleeding. So he was like, go to the emergency hospital and get an ultrasound done. I was sitting in the emergency hospital and I was really stressed out because I did not want to lose this baby again. The doctor asked me what is going on and I told her that I would bleed like for half an hour, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, and then it would go slow and it would become like a normal period kind of a thing. And this would go on for like 4 or 5 days and then it would stop. And I was like, what is going on? Why is this happening? So the doctor did an ultrasound and he said, Shruti, relax. Your baby is absolutely fine. Look at the baby. It is dancing inside. Why are you getting worried? He's absolutely fine. Nothing has gone wrong with him. I was at peace. I went back home. I was like, it's okay even if I'm bleeding. It happens maybe with some people, I don't know, or maybe I'm 1 in a million. So I came back home, the bleeding stopped after a couple of days and then I was back to normal. After 15 days, I was at work and I started bleeding again. Again, a gush of blood and I'm like, what's happening? I rushed from my office to the emergency medical clinic again. Luckily, it was a weekday, so we didn't have to wait for ages over there. I was immediately taken inside and the doctor again, did an ultrasound and he said that your baby is absolutely fine. So then I was like, well, then you need to break this down for me. Why am I bleeding? And that's when he said that you have a subchorionic hemorrhage makes you bleed during pregnancy. And then he said that it happens for some women initially during the pregnancy and then it stops because the hemorrhage closes on its own. For some women, it opens up, and that is life threatening to the baby. He's like, if it happens again, don't worry, just stay calm because there's nothing wrong with your baby. Baby is absolutely fine. You don't have to keep rushing to the emergency hospital every now and then. It's like, okay, at least I know what is happening. So I came home and I was just telling myself, I've come this far. I am going to have a baby. That's all what I need. After that last visit to the doctor, when he told me that I have this subchorionic hemorrhage, I didn't bleed for the next whatever months of my pregnancy at all. I enjoyed every single day of my pregnancy. And basically, the subchorionic hemorrhage closed on its own, is what I'm assuming. And my baby turned out to be absolutely fine. He is an angel. But if you are suffering with infertility, don't tag yourself with that. You just need to find that right doctor who will be able to help you. And there is always hope, is what I know. Maybe try and meditate. So thank you so much for watching my video. I know it went on too long. If you are still here listening to my story, I'm really thankful. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I will keep uploading more videos for you guys, and hopefully you will support my channel as you have always been. Thank you so much.